Welcome back. Shelby Volo joining us from Abbott Wealth Management today. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, today we're talking about, well, yeah, something we'll have to deal with, submitting our taxes. But there's many things that people tend to forget when it comes to submitting their taxes.
Yes, and a couple of them I didn't even know. So
really?
I think there'll be some new stuff for people that are watching the segment, and hopefully they can, have some extra deductions this year.
We're always in, I feel for me, I just want to get it done, but you don't want to miss anything either, right?
Exactly, I know.
Yeah.
It's nice to get it done and out of the way, but it's also nice to have an accountant look, because I'm sure they're going to be able to pick these things out too and really help you do it absolutely right.
We have a chart that Shelby so organizingly put together for us. That didn't make sense, but whatever. Okay, so we got 10 points. Let's start with the first one.
Okay, so the first one's the equivalent tax deduction. So it can be claimed if you're single, divorced, separated, and it's the same way, it works the same way as a spousal credit, but it has some restrictions. So your dependent just has to, if it's not a child, just has to be a Canadian citizen. And if you are claiming for your dependent, they have to be under 18 years of age. Unless they're mentally or physically disabled, then you can claim while they're older as well.
Okay.
But only one claimant in the household is entitled to this deduction.
Okay.
The next one is charitable donations.
People forget that?
Well,
that's crazy.
I don't know if they forget it, but I think maybe as time goes on, they forget that they did it and they forget to submit it. Because I think most people know, it is a really nice little tax deduction on your taxes.
Yes.
And it is 15% on the first 200 and then 29% on amounts over 200.
Okay.
So it's really nice because it could be 75% of your net income, up to that as a max. So you can get a nice deduction off of using that.
Something to remember. You know what, I have found actually receipts where I'm like, oh, I didn't submit this.
Yes.
Tell me this quickly. Can you submit after the fact?
Yeah, absolutely. So it can be carried forward 5 years.
Okay.
And say if some of your contributions are under 200, you can save them up as well to get a bigger deduction.
Good to know.
Yeah, and spouses can actually pool their contributions together.
Okay, good to know. Childcare expenses.
I think a lot of
one.
people, they know this one, but this one, I kind of found a good listing of different childcare expenses that maybe you didn't think of. One of them was summer camp fees, hockey school, boarding school, and then obviously daycare fees. I think everyone makes sure they claim that one because it is a large amount that families are spending on that.
You can get money back for sending your kid to
summer camp. Oh yeah, boarding school too. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You betcha.
Wow. Okay.
And the lower income earner does have to claim the credit for that, unless the lower income earner is a student. Then the higher income earner is obviously going to be the one claiming on there.
Okay.
And you can claim a maximum of $7,000 for each child under 7 and $4,000 for children under 16 and after age 7.
Okay. All right. Medical expenses.
So this is a nice one because some people have group benefits and they think, okay, well, my group benefits pays for this. And really they only cover 80%. Sometimes you say you pay 20 bucks. Well, still keep that and submit it because it still counts because they didn't cover it. And I think some people forget about that because they have benefits. And then also it can be claimed, it is a non-refundable tax credit for that one as well.
Okay.
Dividend income, I won't say too much about that one. It is a credit that reduces dividend income and it's at the highest marginal tax rate. So not everyone's gonna have this one.
Sure. Disability credits.
Yeah, so if you are disabled and your activities of daily living are affected for past 12 months continuously, and a doctor has stated that that is true, you can qualify for a deduction there as well.
All right. What's the next one? Pension income.
Yes, so if you receive a pension income, a 16% federal tax credit can be claimed there. You can be any age if it's from a pension from your employer, but if you're making those redemptions and you have a RIF or annuity, you have to be over age 65.
Okay.
And if you can't use the credit, it can be transferred to your spouse.
Okay, good to know. What's the next one?
Carrying charges. So this is one that's nice. So fees paid to your financial plans and investment advisors, you can get a deduction there. Interest on loans for investment purposes, and charges associated with finance fees and investment expenses. So they kind of said that, but I broke it down a bit further. Moving expenses is the next one. So if you have a move and you're 40 kilometers closer to work, so there is a little bit of stipulation around that, you can have a deduction there. If you hire movers, you have to stay somewhere between the moves. realtor fees, all that kind of stuff, you can write that off as well. So that's a nice one.
And then self-employment income, last one.
So that one, if you have a home office, for example, you can write off a part of your mortgage interest and maintenance if it applies to that area that you're using for your home office. Some of your property taxes, insurance, utilities, but you have to pick the percentage of your home that is actually used for that, and then adjust your taxes accordingly.
Okay.
And actually, if you're a renter as well, you don't own the property, you can claim a portion of your rent as well. Yeah.
Lots of information there.
Totally.
I'm going to keep these for myself.
Yeah.
We have a question of the week as well, quickly. I think we're going to put that on the screen. What kind of update can you provide on the BC budget and the financial changes associated with that?
So I think we kind of you guys summarized that a bit at the beginning of the segment. The two that I really stood out for myself was the MSP and the big changes that they're making there.
Yes.
You know, families were used to paying around $150 a month, and so they're saying January 2017 it should be more around $75. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some changes between now and then. And then right now, anyone who makes over $30,000 is pretty much paying the same amount of money. So there's no real scale that was kind of factored in there. So at least going forward, we know that there's actually going to be something that's really tested with your income.
Yes.
So I liked that a lot. And then the housing situation. So you've probably noticed that in Vancouver, there's places for $2 million, and they're not maybe the nicest. So now they're actually going to start tracking the nationalities of who's buying the homes, and it's going to be listed for the public and available for them to see, as well as new homes up to $750,000. They're going to remove that transfer tax. So that's maybe going to help some of those young people get into the market because they can maybe not worry about that. Yeah, so hopefully some of those changes can help this generation get in there.
Absolutely. Vancouver's a tough market to get into for sure.
It is.
Shelby Volo, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated. Some great tips there on tax time. Information on the screen, abbottwealth.com as well. Info@abbottwealth.com. We're back in 90 seconds. Stay with us.